our garden wall. I hear the sirens call. You can have what you want. Yeah, you can have it all over our garden wall.
Hello there, and welcome to Series 3, Episode 1 of our music podcast based out of Polars. And on each of the podcasts we do our bit for world peace by trying to create lists and charts and have some debate about great music. And on this series, we are going to set out to try and establish what our favourite David Bowie album is. So no pressure there. So we'll come on to how we're going to do that in a minute. But first of all, some introductions. So we have back with us for another series is Caroline Grahame. Good afternoon, Caroline.
Good afternoon, Brian and Graham.
And Graham Skinner. So Caroline's back since the last series, which is great. But we also, in a moment of weakness, managed to drag one of our friends, the Scottish singer-songwriter Graham Skinner, on to join this Bowie podcast. Graham, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are we, mate?
I'm good, thanks. Good afternoon, Caroline.
Are you regretting it yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're only 5 minutes in, Brian.
Listen, I know you are both big Bowie fans, so it's really nice that you know we can do the poll stuff, which is good fun, but we can also talk about Bowie, and why wouldn't you? You're sort of 10 years on now, aren't we, from on passing? So,
Yeah.
I guess before we have a chat about the poll and the voting, any particular kind of recollections of seeing him or hearing him that kind of stand out for you, Caroline?
Well, I suppose the first time I saw him stands out because it's probably the wettest gig I was ever at, which was the Serious Moonlight tour at Murrayfield in 1983. I know he played here a lot in the early kind of mid 70s, but I was too young to go, and then there was a big gap. So when he announced that he was playing in 1983, everybody I knew was so excited, and then the weather stepped in.
Remember it well. And also, I'm not sure you remember this, the two support bands were Icehouse and the Thompson Twins,
Yeah.
I think. And nothing against either of them, but they just honked on the day because the
I'm
weather.
starting to say that out of all those three acts, the only one I've seen live is the Thompson Twins. I didn't buy a ticket. It was just let happen. They were part of a bill, but you know, I never saw Bowie live.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask you that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Wow. So, okay, what kind of recollections have you got then? Is it just on record and stuff, Graham? Or?
Well, I'll try to be as brief as possible here. Like when Ziggy came out, I was 10, so it kind of passed me by when it came out. And then when I moved out to Drumchapel, the guy I became pals with, he had all the Bowie albums up to that point, and that was my doorway into Bowie, because he had all the albums. So we'd go around to his house and I just absorbed them, you know. So I listened to somebody else's records, and then I started buying them myself once I got my paper round.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was the kind of what was your entry point for him? What did you listen to first? Do you remember?
I can't remember the first one that we listened to. I mean, like he was obsessed with Bowie. You know, I mean, I'm sure you were the same, Caroline, putting pictures, cutting things out of magazines and stuff like that. So his room was covered in pictures of David Bowie. And so he was really obsessed with him. He also had the Velvet Underground, Iggy Pop, Bruce Springsteen. So like it was really great for me, you know, to have a pal who had all of that stuff. That's how I ended up loving all that stuff, you know, because that was all we had, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And doubling back
That
to
and John Peel, of course.
sorry, Graham.
Sorry, that and John Peel, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and doubling back to the Series Moonlight gig, as Caroline says, the weather was brutal. So, you know, he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. But I don't know if you remember, Caroline, he had this kind of electric blue double-breasted suit thing on. And he stood at the front of the stage, Graham, like past the canopy, you know, with the cover. And it just kind of sheeted to kind of grey right down the front of him. But, you know, he didn't care. And it was that whole gallus, I just don't care, you know, and that, if anything, that made the crowd even more kind of into the whole night and stuff. So, It was
I
fantastic.
mean,
Yeah.
I was also wearing electric blue at that gig, Brian.
Were you?
I had a pair of electric blue suede boots, which I had bought by mail order from Shelley's Shoes in Carnaby Street. I don't know if you remember the little ads in the back of the NME. And I
Absolutely.
was so proud of them. But when I got home, I also had electric blue feet because all the dye had run. It took me weeks to get my feet back to the normal colour.
Oh, very good.
I'll never forget that.
Have you still got them?
No.
I had a friend. I was about when did Low come out? About 76 or something. Yeah.
76, I think.
77.
So
77?
I was what 11, 12, and my gran had a neighbour. He was living in a high flat in Greenock, and my neighbours lived on the top floor, 15th floor, and we used to go up now and again. And our son Robert was about 4 years older than me, pretty cool guy, and they were moving somewhere. They're moving South Africa or somewhere like that. And he had a record collection. He gave me a couple of records, and one of them was Low. And I really hadn't had Bowie at all, apart from the odd single at the time. And he gave me it, and I played it, and I absolutely hated it. Like hated it. Just thought it was the worst thing I've ever heard. And where's all the singing and and there's no guitars on it really or whatever. And I literally put it at one side for about a year maybe. And
Yeah,
no,
I liked all of that, but I was a bit older, so
yeah,
and also I kind of, although I have pals and stuff, I did spend a lot of time by myself in it. So I've got really great. When I hear those instrumentals, like they just sort of take me back to being that tortured kind of teenager in my drum chapel bedroom, which is the most mental decoration you've ever seen in your life. You know, because my mum let me do what I wanted. But
it's
I no, it's weird. I totally get why you didn't like it though. But
yeah,
for me, it's a worker. It's genius.
love it now. I'm sure we'll come on to that. Cool. No, I think there's going to be more. Hopefully, we have a chat in the subsequent podcast. If anything else jumps out at you, and I'm sure the guys on Twitter X will want to share some feedback as well, which would be
Tell
lovely.
you a stupid thing, right?
Go on then.
Okay. So you remember you were asking me about Diamond Dogs,
Aye, that's right.
and I said it wasn't my favourite Bowie album and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and I grew to like it later on, and we were up one of my other pals' house, and he had Diamond Dogs as well. He puts Diamond Dogs on, and it starts. It goes, "This ain't rock and roll. This is genocide." But I thought he said, I didn't really know it, the record that well. I thought he said, "This is Genesis." And I was like, what the fuck are you putting Genesis on for? We don't like
I
Genesis. We like
don't.
other stuff. And they absolutely ripped it out of me for that.
Oh, good. Thanks for sharing that. Nothing like a bit of
Yeah.
honesty.
I'm an open book,
Yeah, an open
Brian.
book. All part of grown up, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's probably another podcast about teenage bedroom paraphernalia and decoration and stuff. We'll maybe come on to that once somewhere down the
All right.
line. So listen, you'll like this just before we have a chat about the poll and stuff. So I've got a very, very quick Bowie quiz for you.
Oh no.
Right? Like one question quick, okay? So I'll see if you can do it between you, right? And this is maybe the best way to come up with the answer. Right. So I want you to tell me how many number one UK studio albums Bowie had. Okay.
Do you
Ooh.
want to go or will I go?
So you can
I
do
go first.
alternative if you want. Any order you want, and I'll tick them as I go along. Okay.
Let's dance. Surely.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
And as a house rule, if you get one wrong, you're out. Right.
okay. Uh, Heroes?
Nope.
Ah!
Thanks for joining us, Graham.
I did that deliberately.
I know you did, mate. I'll give you another go. Caroline, give us another one.
Black Star.
Black Star. Yep.
You swine. That was my next one.
Graham.
I'll say next day.
Yep, it was. Yep,
Scary Monsters.
correct.
Tonight.
Correct. And that one's for Josh Patterson.
Mm.
He loves Tonight.
Ooh,
Caroline,
gets a bit tricky now.
it does. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 5, and there is 9.
All right, okay. Diamond Dogs.
Correct.
Aladdin Sane.
Correct. You have 2 to get. I think one of them's quite hard.
Heathen.
Nope. You were doing so well, Caroline.
Mm.
Graham.
See, I don't think by the time all those other ones, so I'm going to go early again, or earlier, and say Young Americans.
No, it wasn't. It was number 2, Young Americans. I'd have guessed that as well. 2 to get. I'll give you one, we'll go each, then we'll call it.
Station to Station.
Nope.
Golly gosh. Lodger.
No. No, the other 2 are pin-ups.
Oh, wow.
And believe it or not, Black Tie, White Noise. Which if you gave me 10
my good God.
Yeah, give me 10 goes at that, I wouldn't have got Black Tie. So yeah, 9 in 9 in the UK and only 1 studio album #1 in America. Believe it or not.
I'm guessing that was Let's Dance, was it?
It was Blackstar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he didn't have a #1 while he was still here, which is amazing, you know. So there we go. I know it's not all about selling records, but obviously his influence has been kind of everywhere, and commercially he's had some pretty big stuff as well. So, all right, okay. So we are going to try and come up with a name for our podcast, and just off air there, Caroline and Graham were helpfully adding more suggestions onto already burgeoning list. Better suggestions, yeah. Absolutely. So let me see if I can pull this up. If hopefully I can make this work, because it's always a bit hit and miss. Just double checking. Can you see that, guys?
You can see that, yeah.
You get pull. Okay. So
It says favourite Bowie album?
his favourite
yes,
album.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So we had about the guys on X are great. So we had maybe 15 or 20 suggestions. I mean, some of them were absolutely dreadful. We had to tell them that, but there were some belters in there as well. So I pulled out, what was that, about 8 of them there. So these are the ones I thought you know had sort of worth consideration. So first of all, have you got any favourites from that list before we add the 3 you gave us on that we could maybe put in a little poll on X?
My favourite out of that is Oh You Petty Things.
I do like when it came in a message, can't remember who it was, saying that's cracking. Really like that. So, Caroline?
I quite like Space Poddity.
Space Poddity. Okay.
That would be my second one, Caroline, I think.
And I think Colin come on the chat, I think, Caroline, and said Space Poddity.
Yeah, he said that too, yeah.
Yeah. I actually quite like all of these, to be honest. I think they're all pretty cool. And then, so we've got 2 there. So you guys gave us 3 add-ons to consider. Graham, you gave us, no, Caroline, who gave us Lady Grinning Pole?
That was me.
That was you, was it? Sorry, Caroline. Which you really liked. Graham liked it, didn't he? Graham, you then gave us 2. One of them was, okay, Man Who Poled the World.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we quite like the other one, Station to Polling Station.
That as well, eh?
Yeah. Caroline, which
Topical.
one of those 2 do you prefer,
I'll
Caroline?
go for the Station to Polling Station because it's topical.
Absolutely. Okay. What I'll do is, if you're okay with that, is I'll stick those 2 onto the 2 that you liked from the list. So that's Petty Thing, Space Poddy, and your 2. And I'll have a very quick vote on X over the next couple of days. Whatever that comes out at, we'll call the next episode that. Does that sound like a plan?
Great stuff.
Cool, magic. That was easy. Right, okay. So the other thing was obviously to get onto the chat about the albums. So Graham, just to fill you in, what we done was we put a list of all the studio albums that Bowie had recorded together, and we did like some group voting, and the top 2 albums from each of the groups all went into this kind of final 16 thing that we did. There was 26 studio albums, but we added in, what did we add in? Buddha of Suburbia and the Bow EP soundtrack, just to get it up to around 28. So that was the 20 albums we voted on. And we ended up with this 16 come out of that 28. So I guess the feedback at the time, and I'll obviously bring in any comments you've got. I think the only one that was maybe questionable about not being on there was possibly Pin-Ups.
Well, yeah, I'd be taking Black Tie, White Noise off and putting Pin-Ups on straight away.
Just you don't like it, or
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of it at all.
no? And why do you think it went to number one and stuff? Because it wasn't really cool at the time, was it? Bowie, early 90s?
I guess I don't. I mean, it totally passed me by that record, and I've went back and listened to it, after it's come out and stuff. And quite often that's a good way of doing things, because you're sort of with a bit of distance, and I just can't get on with it at all. I don't like the sound of it, It's not it just doesn't. It's too. I guess it's too like. I know it's 90s, but it's just got that horrible. I don't like the sound of the production, and I can't really. I like the songs I like best are the ones he's not singing on, believe it or not.
Right.
Which is really weird.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I can't tell you how much I love the guy's voice and his lyrics and everything. So weird. I just don't like it.
Caroline, what was any surprises on the list?
Not really. I mean, again, that one was the surprise for me. I would have thought if there'd been a more kind of that period Bowie album on the list, it would have probably been Heathen. But obviously, Heathen, I think, was up against Station to Station and something else really strong. So it didn't really stand much of a chance.
Yeah, I would have thought Heathen or Earthling would have been better than Black Tie.
Certainly more kudos to those ones. I think they were very well received, both albums. Quite cutting edge again.
And great cover art on both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think, it's a fair point on Black Tie. But I think, the other 15, I guess if you were going to scribble down the kind of best Bowie albums, I think all the other albums are on there somewhere.
I mean, I haven't made 16 albums, Brian, personally, right? But if I had, and one of them was Black Tie, Black Noise, it would be the worst album that I'd made. Do you know what I mean? But it's just... I just don't like it at all.
I'm getting the impression you don't like that album very much.
I really do. It's really annoying me that it's on that list.
Well, I don't think it'll last long.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe not.
Not what you and me about anyway.
We do reserve the right as the podcast panel to exercise a kind of sword of Damocles on things that we do. So we've done that in the past, and it does create a bit of consternation. But so we're obviously going to do a draw for these guys. So basically what we'll do, as we did with the Scottish album stuff, is it's just a straight draw. We like the idea of a sort of knockout. It's good fun. You get some controversy, obviously, because you end up with sort of, big albums against each other, and it just gets people chatting as well. And it does get some of the other albums a bit of space as well, which is nice to see. So before we do that...
I prefer things that aren't... competitions that aren't seeded.
Yeah, this isn't seeded at all.
Seeding is just a form of gerrymandering, and I don't like it.
Well, we didn't know that, but this will cheer you up. It couldn't be any less seeded if you try. And also when we do this and we kind of get the knockouts and stuff going, obviously when we get to the next round, we'll hopefully have a last day and we'll do an 8-4-2. So we'll have a worthy winner, no doubt. But as I say, more importantly, just have a bit of fun with the albums and get everybody to listen to stuff again, which is magic. So before we do the draw, so I'll come back out this now. Have you got your own favourite Bowie album at the moment, Caroline?
I have, and it's one that's been mentioned already. And my favourite, not because I love the album, but I do. But I suppose because it was the first Bowie album I ever possessed. You guys probably don't remember this, but there used to be a thing called the Britannia Music Club that used to advertise in newspapers and things back in the 70s. And you ordered, I think you picked 5 albums and you paid not very much money for them, and in return they signed you up your life away to be getting and paying for an album for the next, I don't know, decade or something. So anyway, I signed up to this, and one of my picks was Diamond Dogs. And when it arrived, I think I was about 12 at the time. When it arrived, I had never seen anything like it, and I had never heard anything like it. I mean, I was in West Lothian in the 70s, so, I mean, it was a bit dystopian, but not in the same way that Bowie envisages on Diamond Dogs. So everything from the cover art to the lyrics to the, I suppose, links with 1984, because obviously wanted to make the musical, but he couldn't get the rights. Just everything about it was just so different to what I'd heard before that it just blew me away, and it still does.
Okay, so it's Diamond Dogs. Cool. And were you a Genesis fan?
No. I can recite that whole bit that ends up with.
We might get you to do that next week. Okay. Graham, got a favourite?
Um, uh, I'm sure it's difficult for me as it was for you, Caroline, but for me, I'm going to go with Station to Station. Um,
Okay.
like I could have been, it could have been three or four other ones, but that's probably the one I've played the most. I've played that. I think I've played that album more than any other one. And also used to do a cover of Golden Years.
Mm.
So it's sort of like really, there's a lot of feeling for me. I always remember being at a party in West Princess Street. I think it was a postcard place, and Paul Quinn was there, and we were all just sitting about drinking, and he started singing, you know, one of these days it won't be long, gonna drive uptown where I used to belong in the back of a dream car, 20 foot long, don't cry my sweet. I did that whole thing, and I was just like looking at him going, oh my effing God, you are amazing. So that's like a wee sort of side story. But yeah, I love Station to Station.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And there's a story that he wrote, Golden Years for Elvis. Is that a true story, or he offered it to Elvis?
I don't know.
You heard that,
I'm
Caroline?
not surprised.
You heard that, Caroline?
No, I hadn't heard that
No.
either.
I mean, there is some chat online. I know a lot of the online chat isn't always true, but there's a fairly consistent thread to it that mid to late 70s he wrote it and offered it to Elvis and
But
Tom
you could
Parker.
hear Elvis singing that in that
Hmm.
part,
Totally,
it's
yeah.
definitely got the voice for it. The other thing that's weird about, like what I've heard is that doesn't remember making the album, you know.
He doesn't, no.
Yeah. So
No.
I find that very interesting. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like I feel like it's somehow managed to be a bridge between uh, Young Americans and Low.
Mhm.
There's a lot of soul in it, but there's also a lot of like sort of weird experimentation, and also Wild as the Wind. It just
Mm,
like
Mm.
blows my head off. I
yeah.
know he didn't write it, but
Mhm.
it's just that performance and that's just amazing.
Yeah, no doubt we'll talk about it. I couldn't agree more with you on Wells Win Magic. Mine's For What It Worth is probably low after what I said earlier on about taking a year to actually listen to it again. But just because
And
it
you
was
have to
so,
work at things sometimes, and it works out better, doesn't it?
yeah, it wasn't my sweet spot at all at the time, and it probably helped me sort of like a portal into all these other types of music that I sort of grew to love as well. But it's a very difficult call. So those are your favourites. Which ones do you think are going to win the comp, Caroline?
I think Low has got a good chance of winning.
You think Low has a good chance? Okay, Graham.
I think Hunky Dory will win.
HD. Cool. Let me just come out of that then, because I've seen enough of that. Okay. We're back on again. Yep. Cool. Right. Okay. This is when we usually mess it up. So we've got 16 albums. I have a piece of paper here, which I can just flash so you don't see it too quickly. So, Caroline, you're going to give us numbers 1 to 8, and Graham, you're going to give us 9 to 16. And we'll hopefully end up with 8 ties off the back of that. Okay. We'll see how this goes. So, Caroline, give us a number 1 to 8.
Let's go for number 3.
Number 3, which is Black Star. Thank you. We'll play Graham.
16.
16, Black Star. We'll play Black Tie, White Noise. Okay. Your prediction's probably
I think
right.
you've got your wish, Graham.
I'm not as dark as I'm cabbage looking.
Caroline.
1.
Number 1 is Aladdin Sane. Thank you. And Graham.
I've got no idea now, so I'm just saying 9.
9 is Low. Okay. Aladdin Sane versus Low. Caroline.
6.
6 is Scary Monsters. We'll play Graham.
13.
13, Space Oddity. And we're calling it that because there was the 2 David Bowie albums. It's kind of easier to separate it that way. Scary Monsters plays Space Oddity. Caroline.
5.
Sorry, 5.
5, yeah.
5 is Heroes. Graham.
12.
12 is Hunky Dory. Thank you. Heroes plays Hunky Dory. Caroline.
2.
2 Ziggy. We'll play 8. Graham.
15.
15. Young Americans. Ziggy plays Young Americans. Right, we've got 3 left, hopefully. Caroline.
4.
4 is Station to Station. We'll play Graham.
14.
14. Diamond Dogs.
Hey!
There's always one.
Head to head.
There's always one. We did the Scottish albums. I think it might have been Rattlesnakes and Highland Hard Rain or something like that. Drew each other. It was, just one of those things.
Brutal.
It was brutal.
This is. You can't win in this poll. It's impossible for me. I don't know about you, Caroline, but you can't win in this poll. So I'm not taking it.
You're going to get most of the blame, Graham. That's how it works, mate.
It wouldn't be the first time.
We face the wrath. We should have 4 left, hopefully. Caroline.
Yeah. Number 8.
Number 8 is Man Who Sold the World.
Legs 11.
Legs 11. Clink, clink is The Next Day. Next Day. And it gives us 2, hopefully, which is... What have you got left, Caroline?
Lucky number 7.
Let's Dance plays should be number 10, I'm hoping.
Yep, 10.
Yeah, is Lodger. Cool. As you say, Graham can't win, but he can't lose either, maybe, depending on that way. So there's my scribble. So Black Star versus Black Tie White Noise, Aladdin Sane versus Low, Scary Monsters versus Space Oddity, Heroes versus Hunky Dory, Ziggy versus Young Americans, Station to Station versus Diamond Dogs. What was the other two? Man Who Sold the World versus Next Day, and Let's Dance versus Lodger. All killer, no filler, apart from Black Tie White Noise.
I mean, I would have rather had The World according to David Bowie than that. I mean, I actually really quite like those records, most of them. So
obviously didn't poll particularly well when we did the group stuff because it was his entry point and it was that kind of 60s sound and all that, isn't it? But yeah, it's quite quirky.
My pal actually, he had Liza Jane. I mean, that's how much he was into it all.
Yeah.
Which came out when we were 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
1964.
That's
so yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll obviously we'll get this out to the guys, and probably this weekend we'll get some stuff on X and let them all follow each other for a while, which is half the fun.
It's not like X is normally divisive, you know.
I mean, I know people come and go with this stuff, and we're always quite nervous when we do stuff. But I've got to be honest with you, Graham. You can count in one hand the number of issues we've had over 3 or 4 years on our music page. I think I blocked 2 people in 5 years or something. So it's I don't mind them falling out, but as long as it's done in the spirit of what you're doing, and you move on again, you know. So but there's a lot of Bowie fans out there. Interestingly, there's quite a lot of non-Bowie fans out there as well. I think we saw somebody who's not taking part in the polls because they're quite ambivalent to Bowie, which I was quite surprised at. I get the fact you might not like everything he does, but I thought you've got to like something that he's done. He's done so much that
I think I got tagged in that post as well.
You did, yeah. I think it was Derek Kirwan.
Derek Kirwan, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
How can you have ears and not love, like, Life on Mars? I mean, it's just insane. Yeah, absolute bonkers.
It is. And what we'll maybe do is obviously we'll have the poll, and then when we get to the kind of 8 that get through, we'll maybe have a chat about the couple of the albums on the next one, so we get a wee bit more time just to kind of drop into some. I guess most of the big hitters will go through, but already one of Station to Station, Diamond Dogs is going out, and one of Ziggy and Young Americans is going out, and one of Aladdin Sane and Low is going out. So you need to get your bots working and get all your grannies and aunties and stuff to.
The only bot I've got is
the one you're sitting on.
Attached to this couch.
So there we are. That was us. We started off with our Bowie poll. We're getting close to having a name for it, which we'll get in the next couple of days. And the next time we get on the podcast, we'll hopefully have 8 albums through to the quarterfinal, which is cool. Is there anything else that we've not picked up on today you want to chuck in, Caroline?
I think you should have a favourite Bowie haircut poll as well.
That's a great idea.
Might just do that. Might do a haircut and might do album cover.
that was really my entry to Bowie. It was like that was the haircut to have when I was like 12 or whatever. You know,
Which
never
one
got
is
it.
which one?
But
Diamond Dogs?
the sort of
The Susie Ronson one.
you know, the Ziggy, the kind of feather cutty spiky. But I couldn't do the spiky thing because I didn't understand hairspray technology in those days, or the egg white idea either. But I had the feather cut. It was almost a Bowie, but you know,
Yeah.
that was that was as much a thing as the music for me.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. There's a whole chat about the image stuff, isn't there? So we can maybe, as I say, we've got a couple of nice opportunities as we go through them to kind of go off kilter slightly. So maybe chat about haircuts and styles, and certainly maybe the covers, because again, some of his covers are absolutely iconic.
Absolutely.
And one or two aren't. So we can chat about that as well. Caroline, anything else?
I don't think so.
Cool. There we are. We're off and running. So
Are you starting the polls at the weekend?
you should be this Friday, Saturday if I get organised. Yeah, I'll do the quick poll on trying to get a name for it, but that'll only take a day or so, and then we'll get it out over the weekend. So if you're kicking about, feel free to have a nosy and put the boot into anybody who disagrees with your favourite albums. Tell them they're wrong, because that's half the fun. And then hopefully we'll reconvene soon and we'll have a catch up on the next one. How's that sound?
Fantastic, thank you.
Magic. Caroline, thanks for your time as ever. Graham, brilliant to have you on, mate. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And
That's good fun.
until next time, look after yourself and we'll catch you soon. All the best now. Cheers.
Over our garden wall, I hear the sirens call. You can have what you want.